Clayface is one of my most anticipated movies for this year. If you don't know already, the inception of this movie came from Mike Flanagan, who's a filmmaker that I really enjoy. He had been saying for a few years that he had been really wanting to make a solo Clayface movie, that was a passion project of his. He wrote the script and turned it into DC Studios, and it wasn't part of their original plan, but it was so good that they were like, yeah, let's do it. Like, they were fully on board. Mike Flanagan himself has said that the Feet of Clay episodes of Batman the Animated Series were very big inspirations for the story, which makes me really excited because those episodes are awesome. Unfortunately, though, Mike Flanagan isn't the one directing this movie because he had some conflicts. That honestly hurts a little bit, I can't lie, because, you know, Mike Flanagan is both a great writer and a great director. He has this touch as a director that's really special. So I can't say that it doesn't upset me that he's not directing, and I really wish we could have seen what his full, authentic vision would have been. But they ended up hiring James Watkins, who's a director that I personally haven't seen anything from, but from what I hear, he's a pretty good and solid director. But one of the unique things about this movie that's been talked about by James Gunn and by Mike Flanagan is that this is a horror movie. They've both spoken openly about the fact that, you know, it's just a full-on body horror movie, kind of akin to something like The Fly or The Substance. I just think that that by itself is just such a cool concept that DC can just do a horror movie, and it really speaks to the idea that they want diversity and tone and story and in genre. And just from the trailer, we absolutely get that. You know, this is a proper horror trailer. I think it's a beautiful thing that comic books and superhero media can really be anything. And I'm so glad that we're getting something this bold this early in the DCU. And when some people hear that, they might have kind of a worry that, you know, maybe it's going to be too grounded or too serious, and it might kind of shy away from its, you know, comic book origins. But when I saw that one shot of him lifting his hand, having formed it into a mace, that really solidified for me that, yes, we're getting a full, dark, gritty body horror movie, but they're not at all shying away from the fact that this is Clayface, the Batman villain, the superhero villain. And I just think it's a beautiful thing that both of those things can exist in the same story and give us something that's really unique and exciting, and I just cannot wait for this movie.